That's not even being mean. That's a whole lie. What, man? What? Man? I don't know what kind of
All right. Who finished the bell ringer within that amount of time?
Me.
Okay, so a handful of us.
I did.
Who worked on the test? Okay. Who did not finish? Okay. Why didn't we quite finish?
Oh, we're not.
I was doing mine, but someone not
Now, be careful. You're looking at these notes. This is not where we have learned. There we go. So this is what I was going to say. These are the notes that we should be looking at. Okay. I know. Which one are you stressing about? The first one? Alternate interior? We did alternate interior in this class already. It's on there. The consecutive interior I assumed was a question that was causing some of us to struggle with. However, so let's look at them. So identify a pair of alternate interior angles on the board. So 3 and 5. Let's talk about it. What do y'all think? Do those appear to be alternate interior?
Yeah. No,
No.
they're not alternating across that one line that
Yes.
goes across.
So they're not alternating across, what is this one line right here called? Transversal?
Yeah.
So when we say alternating, what do we mean?
Basically on
But
opposite.
they
They're on opposite sides. Are those on opposite sides of the transversal?
No.
So would they be alternate interior?
No.
Would they be, wait, say that one more time, Matthew?
I said interior.
Those are exterior angles?
Not alternate.
They're not alternate interior, I agree with that, but are they, so why? Because they're not alternate, because they're not interior?
Because they're not
They're in the
alternating.
interior side, you said they're not.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's clear, they're on the interior, they're just not on alternate sides of the transversal, okay? So what about 5 and 4?
Yes.
5 and 4?
Yes.
Those alternate interior?
Yeah.
Okay? It's okay. What is what? That sound? Don't worry about it. Focus. What is it? Stop. It's disrespectful the way you say it.
How is it disrespectful?
Okay. What about 1 and 4? Would we consider these alternate interior?
Nope.
What are those?
Those are vertical.
Those are vertical angles. Okay. 2 and 4?
Nope.
What would those be called?
Supplementary.
They are supplementary, but it's because they're what? They're a linear pair.
Oh.
We want to recognize that
yeah.
2 and 4, see how they're along that line right there? They are supplementary because they're a linear pair.
And we also have a array.
Okay? So 2 and 6, how about these? Alternate interior?
No. Which one? 2
No.
and 6?
2 and 6?
No,
Those-
exterior. Alternate exterior.
No,
This is exterior.
both 2 and 6 are exterior, and they are alternate, but they're not alternate interior. These are things we want to pay attention to. We've already identified 4 and 5 as alternate interior. Are any others alternate interior?
8 and 1.
That's alternate interior?
No, 8 and 3. No.
I hear it over here. 3 and 7. Those are alternating sides of the transversal, and they're on the interior. We good with that idea? Okay, so let's look at the next one. Let's just take what's a pair of consecutive interior. Now, have I used that term consecutive yet? What do you think it means then?
Consecutive. Repeat, I don't know.
Same side? I mean, alternate interior was alternating sides of the transversal. So what is consecutive referring to? Same side of the transversal. Math is not random, it's not made up, it's very plain if we pay attention to how the language breaks down, but we need to pay attention to that language. So, does anyone see any answers up here that would be consecutive interior?
3 and 5.
3 and 5?
That's
What
what
do
I
y'all-
put.
That's what you put?
Yeah.
What do y'all think? 3 and 5 consecutive and interior? Okay, what would be the other consecutive interior?
4 and 7.
4 and 7. We go.
If it was consecutive X, then it would be 10 here.
2 and 8 and 1 and 6. Yep. Weirdly enough, for some reason, they don't have a consecutive interior or a consecutive exterior. I don't know why, but they don't. This is not a thing for some weird reason. Okay. Alternate interior angles, which I have butchered that drawing, so let's see. Let's redraw that quickly. And so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, and 8. And so the majority of people said that in this case, the alternate interior angles like 4 and 5 are what?
Congruent.
Congruent. Why are they congruent? Because I thought yesterday, didn't we say we don't know? Yesterday, didn't we say we don't know?
Yeah,
So-
but today the lines are parallel.
Oh, but today those lines are
Parallel.
parallel. Even if I didn't draw them perfectly parallel, how do you know they're parallel? Little triangles, right? So I have told you that they are parallel lines. And so we know that 4 and 5 are alternate interior and they are congruent.
Congruent, what do they mean?
Congruent? Anybody want to help us remember what congruent means?
But if they perfectly match.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There are
Wait.
lines and angle
So,
What?
yeah, I was saying, we're going to define this more properly better, but the best way to understand it right now is that they perfectly match. Their
4 and
angle
5 do
measures
not
are the
perfectly
same.
match?
Huh?
4 and 5?
4
They can.
and 5 perfectly match.
Yeah, because they're in.
So here's the thing you're stressing about it, but look, we talked about the fact that it may not look like it right now, but, hold on,
They meet on the same time.
hold on. Okay? Do you remember, Kelsey, when we took this paper, right? And so let's say I draw this angle. And I take that angle and I move it to here. Is that matching?
A little bit.
I guess.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, do you see how that angle's on top of this one? Then they match. Sorry. If you remember to last Friday when we first talked about it, we talked about the idea with the corresponding. I can take this 2 and I can move it down. What's that mathematical term? Starts with a T. Translate. So if you can translate it down and it matches perfectly, then that's when they're congruent. There were 2 other transformations that we haven't talked about yet, but you can also use. Reflections and rotations. So, Kelsey, you could translate this 4 down to this 8, and we know that 4 and 8 are congruent, right? And then couldn't you rotate it around and it would perfectly match here? You could also just say, hey, these are vertical angles, and vertical angles are what? Congruent.
Yeah.
So, there's lots of ways to show that they are congruent.
I've been thinking
It's
about
okay.
after the 2 and the other.
We got
Say that again.
I've been
you.
thinking
Me and
about
Clark got it.
Not on that sheet.
Me and Clark got it.
Really quick clarification, because Matthew was asking a good question. Can I see this real quick?
Did you put congruent?
This orange sheet
Yeah.
is mostly for you. I will assign homework on this, but these are the big ideas for the unit. I have not assigned homework on it yet, but these are the big ideas for the unit, meaning what you're going to do is go through your lessons and identify which lesson went with this concept, and then you're going to summarize that. Some of these I went ahead and told you because you need to know them up front, but that's going to be one of your homework assignments at one point is to go through and say, hey, this idea showed up in this lesson and this is what it means. Okay? This is basically your study guide for the test to help you make sure you understand the key ideas. And I went ahead and gave it to you up front. Okay? So we know about those angle relationships because those lines are parallel. Now, let's get to today's lesson. Get to honestly what we were supposed to do yesterday. So we're going to explore corresponding, which we've already talked a lot about. Yes, Ari?
I was gonna ask about the test. Is that gonna, like, is you like gonna give like extra credit if you want to do grade or add like extra stuff on the
What do you mean?
If you ask, it should be like extra credit.
Kitty don't give extra credit.
He never does extra credit.
No, it'd be like one question, probably.
So I don't do extra credit because what I have done and will always do is I accept late assignments. And remember, I go back and I look at your, and I haven't done it yet because I just got the test graded last night, no, today. So I'll do it tonight. I look at your test grades, and if you improved your understanding on the test, or you did better on the test than you did on the understanding checks or the quizzes, I replace your quiz grade with whatever you made on that portion of the test. So I don't do bonus points or anything like that because then people just end up passing a class without actually learning the content. But if you show me that you have learned from your mistakes on the quizzes and you did better on the test, I honor that and I reward that. So I do that instead of doing the bonus points and things like that. I need you to learn math, so I'm going to reward your learning of math. Okay? And I will also say this, if you're ever like super close to something, the way that you earn it with me is that you show me you've put in the work to grow and to learn. If I see a score that you have and it's like an, I don't know, a 69.1, right? That's not going to round up to a 70. But if I look at my grade book and you have consistently day in and day out worked and I see that your talking and your active collaboration is high, I might still let you earn the C, the 70, right? If you really want to go above and beyond though, you need to come to tutoring, right? I've got 4 tutoring sessions every week. I'm here to help students be successful. I told my Algebra 2 students this as well. There are the videos online that I record. I spend close to 45 minutes every single day at least uploading those videos and giving descriptions of what we did that day so that you can just go in and look at the descriptions and say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, and this is what I need help on, or I can use this for my homework, things like that. So take advantage of those, take advantage of the tutoring. I want you to be successful, but success does not mean having a high grade. Success means learning the content well enough to earn a high grade. Success means learning the content well enough to earn a high grade. That means we need to be actively collaborating, coming to tutoring, all those things. Okay? And so we're going to do parallel line practice stuff for the rest of the day after that as well. So we need to be able to name the pairs of angles created when a pair of lines are cut by a transversal. I think we've started to get the names down. Is that fair to say? Yes? What are the 4 different types of angles that can be created? Y'all, talking about the angles that we see up here.
Exterior angles, interior angles.
Well, there are exterior angles, but what kind of exterior angles?
Alternate.
Alternate exterior. What else are there? Alternate interior.
This is congruency.
Corresponding.
Yeah.
And then the new one that I introduced today is consecutive interior. Those are the types of angles created when a transversal intersects 2 lines.
So for lesson, we'll put, what will we put for lesson?
Which one? Where it says alternate exterior angles, I would look at the name of the lesson. Okay? I'll show you in just a second. And I'll tell you all what Matthew's referring to in a second. But we also need to determine how the angles are related, whether they're supplementary, complementary, congruent, etc. So what Matthew was just asking is he was pointing out that on that orange sheet, there is a section for alternate exterior angles. And he was saying, hey, which lesson should I put down? Well, what's the name of this lesson?
All that.
Corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side.
Okay, and where they say same side, I say consecutive. Okay? Same side is what they used to call it. More updated thing is consecutive. So that would be the name of the lesson that you can come back to and reference later. Alright. We should already have this sheet out. I'll wait, I don't know, 30 seconds or so for you to get this sheet out so we can Get to work.
What is this?
That's what we're working on after we get done with this today. I passed it out yesterday, because I thought we would get to it yesterday. I was drastically incorrect. What's up? It's the line that intersects the two parallel lines, or they don't have to be parallel, but we want to be parallel. Okay. Hey Ari, try to use like these, not the good ones.
That's a good one?
Yes, that's a good one. Any of the ones that are darker colored, they show up better on the board, so it's easier to see when I upload the videos and for people to see from the back.
Ain't green dark.
Dion,
Did you say glow in the dark?
I usually don't buy the black markers, they leave a film on the board. Okay, really quick recap, because this is important. Number 7, in a complete sentence, what was the relationship of corresponding angles? They were what kind of angles?
alternate exterior. No, hold on.
Corresponding angles, like look at your sheet, number 7.
Oh, yeah.
You know the minute ago when I asked you to get this sheet out?
I'll do-
Say that one more time.
Congruent.
They're congruent. Kelsey and Rose, you're about to get separated. You cannot focus. So when we look at these corresponding angles, they are what? Congruent. What did I say?
What?
Corresponding angles are congruent. I don't remember. I feel like I said something wrong just a second ago, but these corresponding angles are congruent. That is important to notice. Then we finished up last time with number 9, using that patty paper, right? In a complete sentence, describe the relationship of the alternate interior angles when the lines are parallel. These were what?
Alternate interior.
Yes, they are alternate interior, but what is their relationship? We found out that these angles are they congruent, supplementary, or complementary?
Consecutive. I mean congruent.
Consecutive.
I don't even know, bro.
Remember, right here, remember, consecutive means same side of the transversal.
Okay, then now see what.
This angle, remember how it matched this angle? So they are congruent. So we should already have this under number 9. Do I need to rewrite it on the board?
Oh no.
So on number 9, we should already have that alternate
And short.
interior angles
I mean, we can also put it down to or a study guide.
Okay, but you're not doing that right now. That's a summary thing for later. I need you to write this down on the homework or the lesson that we're on right now. So alternate interior angles are. Hey, what's the congruent symbol? So if you write that, I'll know that you mean congruent. That's a little bit of a shorthand thing that you can do. Alternate interior angles are congruent when the lines are what? Hey, what's the symbol I could use for parallel? So remember, we draw the triangles on here to show the lines are parallel, but parallel is just two vertical lines that are parallel to each other. Okay? So alternate interior angles are congruent when the lines are parallel. So a little bit of shorthand to help us speed up our writing and our note taking. So you gotta know what those symbols mean. Any questions before I move forward?
So they did so.
I have no clue what you're saying.
They don't always put
Parallel lines? Oh yeah, that's just showing that they don't intersect. Yeah. Okay. I think for the most part, if I remember correctly, some of us did already look at the alternate exterior. Is that correct? Or do I need y'all to give y'all a little bit of time to complete numbers 10 through 14?
Yes.
Okay. So we should still have patty paper in our notebook. If you don't, let me know. If you finish through 14 before we have a whole class discussion, start working on the back side. Sound good?
We're supposed to have 3.
Yeah. No, but she's getting aggravated because this happens somewhat regularly with you where you don't use your brain. You're more than intelligent enough, but you just say stuff without thinking.
I'm saying
Bad. Stop. Okay. So, let's continue 10 through 14. Let me know if you need the patty paper, but you should still have that patty paper from last Friday. And let's get to work.